All right, so let's move on. We're going to talk about Riley Strain for just a brief moment. Riley Strain, there's a little bit of an update here.
Before we get started with this video, I want to take the time to say thank you to everybody that supports the channel, or any of my channels, regardless of platform, regardless of method you choose, whether it's Cash App, Patreon, Venmo, PayPal. Truth is, guys, I couldn't do this each and every day as often as I do if it wasn't for you, the Gun Squad. Big shout out to you guys. Love you so much. And if you too find my content valuable, feel free to hit the links down below. Show some love. Join the Gun Squad today. Support the channel. Do yourself a favor while you're down there. Check out all my other channels. I got plenty of them down there, from true crime channels to politics to live stream channels to gaming channels, wrestling channels, travel channels, amusement park channels. I got them all. Make sure you guys go check them out. Thank you. Let's get back to the story.
And this is actually over the last couple of days. Well, you guys got to remember, I've been off the last 2 days, so I'm going to probably talk about some shit that you've heard about on the channels. Forensic expert raises grim specter that Riley Strain was murdered, as he says the student's pants were likely stripped off by someone else. World-renowned forensic expert Dr. Bill Bass has claimed Riley Strain's pants would not come off by themselves after he was found half naked in the Cumberland River. That's not true at all. That's not true at all. I was in this swimming pool last night. What's up, Just a Mom? That's not true at all. I was in this swimming pool last night, and I went to dive, and I swear to God, my shorts fell. So I don't believe him at all. I went to dive and touch the bottom of the pool, and my shorts just, whoop. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, my shorts just came, like, do you see what I mean? Like, and then that's just a regular person with no current, no waves, no nothing. Just a fat motherfucker in the back in the pool. If me just diving down to touch the fucking ground, my shorts can just, my swimming trunks can just come right the fuck off, bare balls to the whole water. I'm sure a current will pull jeans off. It's a fast-moving, you know what I mean? Exactly, KJ. The biggest thing in this case is no water in his lungs. We're going to talk about that as well. Gobbles, what's going on? David sent 25. He said, good morning, JB. Good morning, David. Hope you're doing well. Been there, done that. Exactly. So you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about. Thank you, David. Appreciate it. So going back, hold on. So going back here, let me pull up the chat so I can see what you guys are saying while I'm on this side. If they were wearing, I think they were referencing him wearing skinny jeans. Get out of here. What's up, Paul? All right. So it says, the 22-year-old student's body was found 14 days after he vanished. Initial police report showed signs of no foul play, but no signs that he drowned. A second autopsy confirmed that there was no water in his lungs, increasing fears that he was dead when he entered the water. Here's the thing. Let me also say this. Gangsta Cat became a member. Thank you so much, Gangsta Cat. Let me ask you guys a question. Has anybody here ever been shit-faced drunk? Has anybody here ever been shit-faced drunk at a river, at a lake, out in the woods? Do you see what I'm saying? Has anybody here ever been shit-faced drunk to the point where you go to piss? Maybe the dude had to take a shit. Who the fuck knows? I think it's very, very possible this dude was so drunk, we already saw him bumping into poles as he was walking. I think it's very possible dude could have went to take a piss and just being drunk, kicked his pants off, took off, maybe he had to take a shit, took off his boots, took off his pants. You never fucking know. And I know that sounds crazy to people, but anyone that's ever been in that situation, you know, remember, this dude's in some crazy place. Is it possible that dude went down by the river to take a piss or take a shit? I'm being dead honest. It's a serious question. I know it sounds gross. I know it sounds far-fetched, but I don't think it's that far-fetched. When you're drunk, you're not thinking straight. You're like, man, I'm going to get over here where nobody else is at, down here by the river, go to the bathroom. We saw him trying to walk. It's not even guaranteed that it was the river that took his pants off, even though the river couldn't. Now, question is, since they didn't find anything else, like any head trauma, the people just did a second autopsy, and we'll talk about that here in a second. Let me make this clear. They didn't say they found, like, blunt force trauma or anything else. Just a mom sent 5. Thank you so much, beautiful. Just a mom sent 5. Appreciate you. They didn't say they found any of that. Dry drowning, which is a thing, and we'll talk about that as well. For you guys that don't know, let me go ahead and pull this up. Dry drowning is a thing. Listen. Dry drowning refers to complications that can arise after a person takes in water through their nose, but not in their lungs, causing a spasm that closes the airway. So for all the people saying there's no water found in his lungs, the reality of this is that there doesn't have to be water in your lungs for you to drown to death. Remember when they told you when you was a kid? Remember when they told you when you was a kid that you could drown off a teaspoon of water? Am I the only one that's ever heard this? My entire life growing up, I was told, you can drown off a teaspoon of water? All it takes is a teaspoon of water to drown you. Do you know how? Dry drowning. Do you see the point? Let me pull this chat room back up. My phone is acting goofy. So exactly, we've all been told this. And so to all the people that's like, there's no water in his lungs, his pants are gone.
Are you ready to update your beauty routine?
There's no pants on, blah, blah, blah. There are so many. This is why I say sometimes the truth. There's nothing wrong with investigating. There's nothing wrong with questioning. All I'm saying is, but this automatic assumption that something else is in play when we clearly saw the dude drunk. We clearly saw the dude stumbling. Remember, these are the same people that told us that homeless people had his shirt, even though law enforcement said he had a shirt on when he was found. There would be that river water in his stomach. They know how to test. I'm sure they're going to do it. Kylie Rodney didn't have water in her lungs. The reality, and like I said, I'm not saying that he 100% drowned, but all I'm saying is there's no evidence to point to anything different. But I'm here to update, and that's what we're going to do. A second autopsy confirmed there was no water in his lungs, and we'll get to that. We'll take a look at that right now.
New details in the death of University of Missouri student Riley Strain. The 22-year-old's body was recovered from the Cumberland River in Nashville last Friday, 2 weeks after he went missing during a night out with friends. Tonight, we've learned some disturbing details about how he was found. We've learned he was found without his pants, his wallet, or the cowboy boots that he was wearing the night he vanished.
Now, let's talk about the wallet for a second. They had his debit card, right? By the river. What's up, Sue? How you doing? He for sure could have just started stripping, man. Hell yeah. You know how many times I've stripped off drunk as shit? You know how many times I've stripped on a stream drunk? Just was sitting here drunk as shit. Lost my goddamn mind. But like, fuck it, I'm taking it all off. You know what I'm saying? Good to see you. What's up, Duper? Oh, Duper. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know. I always try to consider Occam's razor, right? What's the most likely scenario? What's the most likely action that happened here? You know what I mean? But I will say this, the wallet thing is confusing. And before people say, well, whoever took his pants took his wallet, then why was his debit card found by the river? If I was going to steal your shit, I'd steal who? Like, why? Who? Do you see what I'm saying? I would be. So I'm curious to know where the wallet is. Is it possible he never took his wallet to begin with? Maybe he left it at the hotel and all he took was his debit card. Probably not, because he's young. He probably didn't want to, he probably thought he might get carded. He probably had it. I wouldn't be surprised if he had more than alcohol in the system. Same here, college kid. Same thing. I heard he had cash too, a lot of it. Maybe. And so I guess the ultimate question is it possible that some dirty shit happened to him? Of course. But right now, I'm not seeing it.
Surveillance video captured.
Yeah, he looks a little sweet. I wouldn't be, no, he does look a little sweet. I wouldn't be surprised if he went down by that river to do a lot more than take a piss or shit. And if that's the case, maybe he did get robbed or killed. And he gets down there trying to diddle with the homeless dude. You know what I'm saying? Anything's possible. Those wallets are on the expensive side. What's wallet? The type of wallet?
Captured some of his last known steps on March 8th.
Watch him. Look at him. Look at him.
Bar where his fraternity brothers were. They were all partying together there. It was about 8 miles away from where his body was found.
Man, I don't know how there's no way he made it to 8 miles. That river had to have dragged him. I'm in my 40s, a pack of letters, 3-4 wallet. But kids these days carry currency different. No, 100% they do. 100% they do.
His disappearance mobilized an army of loved ones and strangers alike.
Well, also remember, we grew up with cash. You know what I mean? We grew up with cash. Back in the day, when I used to carry my wallet in my back pocket. Do you know why? Because all my money was actually cash and it was in my front pocket. So even if you pickpocketed me, you wasn't getting shit. See, now that there's no goddamn cash, it's a little different. So I carry my wallet in the front pocket. But back a long time ago, when my wallet would be in the back pocket, you could, like I said, my wallet didn't have cash in it. I had a money clip or a rubber band holding my money in my front pocket. I still do that to this day when I have cash, which is rare. His family saying he had a wallet in his front pocket. A picture of his friends that night showed he had his wallet in the front. Did they ever find the pants? I guess that's the question. Did they ever find the pants? Because the wallet's probably in the pants. I used to carry my main roll in my front, right? Yeah, exactly. You know, because you know what? If someone comes and robs you back then, later on, Keisha, they would just ask you, give me your wallet. Whatever, motherfucker. You can have the wallet. I used to keep my money in my sock too sometimes. You know what I mean? Back in the cash days. The pants, I believe, are on the bottom of the river. Yeah. In the video, he obviously smashed, unless they find trauma to the body, the kid probably just drowned. Yeah, I think there's no doubt. I agree with you 1,000%.
Banding together to look for signs of Riley before the search came to a tragic end. A preliminary autopsy found no signs of foul play in his death, but the family is not completely satisfied tonight. They have ordered a second autopsy with even more tests that will potentially give us more insight into what happened. And joining us now, family friend Chris Dingman. Chris, thank you for coming on the show again. I understand that Riley has been returned home. His funeral will be happening on Friday. So we're obviously thinking of you all right now, and I can't imagine how difficult all of this has been. But I want to ask you about this second autopsy and some of the new information you've learned. What's new here?
The family did have a second autopsy, actually in Tennessee, following the Metro Nashville autopsy from a private individual company that does that. The original autopsy came out just like theirs did, with no obvious signs of trauma,
right?
As in weapons, guns or knives.
Look, and I think that is what matters here, because if there's no signs of trauma, that means dude didn't even fall and hit his head. Do you see what I'm saying? My two boys never have cash, drive me nuts. I still roll with cash. No, here's the thing. I hike, duper. I hike. So right now, currently, all I have is a 50. But when I hike, I never hike with less than 200. Do you see what I'm saying? That way, if I need a shuttle driver, a hiker hostel, when I'm actually out and about by myself or whatever, yes, 100%. And I always keep some cash, a very limited amount. No question. I agree with you. But I've also never trusted banks. I feel like a bank could just zero you out at any time. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a person. I'm old school. You know what I'm saying? So that, But yeah, keep emergency cash at all times, because you never know when you're going to need a cab or, you know what I mean? Well, I know they don't have cabs no more, excuse me. But you get my point. You never know. You never know. Shit. And you never know when someone else is going to have some shit that you want to buy and they don't accept a card. You never know when another motherfucker is going to have, it could be anything. You know what I mean? It could be anything. And you're like, hey, I'll buy that off you. I got 50. You know what I mean? Does it make sense? Like, you never know. You never know.
Etc. But they were able to do a little bit more testing on specific items. One thing that threw the family for a loop was, the coroner going on record with a news person in Nashville stating about the lack of water in his lungs. It raises more questions.
And I'm going to be honest, there's places in the Appalachians that still don't even accept cards. Y'all know what I'm talking about? And I love those places. You ever go to those like mom and pop gas stations like deep in the Appalachian Mountains or something? And it says cash only? I love those people. I fucking love those people. And they'll have an ATM. And it'll just say cash only. You see what I'm saying? I love the fact that those businesses still exist. Because here in Orlando, let me tell you something. Disney World is cashless. SeaWorld is cashless. Universal Studios cashless. All of these major industries, these major corporations, they're all going cashless. It's insane.
It's, I'm not a crime.
Yeah. You got to check out the Appalachians, bro. It's one of the few parts of America that's still America.
I'm a person by no means, but usually water in the lungs means that, they were alive when they went into the water. So more questions. We hope they're going to get some answers with the toxicology. I just hope that this doesn't get swept underneath the rug, because the family deserves more answers than we have.
What about the boots, Chris? Tell us what you've learned in terms of what Riley was wearing.
That's a great point. Carmichael says, my friend passed out by the river in my hometown and the water took his shoes off. Could have been worse, but it was funny. Yeah. And let's get something straight. Remember, this dude was a thin guy. A strong water current, had he fell in, or had he fell asleep, passed out, you see what I'm saying, on the by the river, it could have taken him. It could have taken him. And it definitely could have ripped his clothes off, man. Like I said, I gave you the example of me in the swimming pool yesterday, just last night. So anything's possible.
Wearing and what he wasn't wearing when he was discovered.
Riley, we were told, which blew the family away. It actually went out on social media, and I screenshotted it and sent it to our war room, and was like, "Who?"
I do feel bad for this kid, man. As a drinker, I have to be honest, man. You guys, some of you guys will remember, but I think it was last year. How much did his fancy fitted boots cost? Probably a good amount. But last year, it was like at the beginning of the year, I fucking was so drunk, like I fell. Like once I went off air, I was so fucking smashed walking back to my bedroom to go to sleep. I fell over my chair. I don't remember if I tried to sit in the chair or what happened, but I hit my ribs on something, and it broke my ribs. And so, like, you'd be surprised. And it doesn't happen that often. But people that drink know that, I mean, whether you woke up the next day and you slept with some broad you wouldn't have normally slept with or whatever, it's just something that it touches me. Like, this dude just simply drunk, got put out the bar, trying to walk back to the hotel, got confused. The drinking, as much as I hate to admit it, because I'm pro-alcohol, it seems to me like the drink, his drunkenness is what killed him, man. And it's just a drunken mistake that we all make. 9 times out of 10, we survive. And I just don't think Riley Strain survived his drunkenness. You know what I mean? And that's a shame. And it's sad to me.
World is this, who is releasing this information, because at the time certain family members didn't even know about that, which really kind of blew us away. Not sure how they got that information. Once again, one more question. But yeah, unfortunately, the only thing that was found with him, as the police stated in the report, was the watch and the shirt. Everything else was not with him.
So nobody stole his Apple Watch.
Can you describe the boots that he was wearing?
That's another thing. Nobody stole his Apple Watch. He still had his shirt. The fact that his pants were gone makes me really feel like either he had pants that was easily removable, maybe he didn't have a belt on, whatever, or maybe he stopped to take a piss, man. And I know you're thinking to yourself, why would he take all of his pants off to take a piss? I've done it. Or, maybe he did. Maybe he did it so he wouldn't accidentally piss on his own pants. I don't know. It could have been anything. You do some silly shit sometimes when you're drunk.
Because that could end up being significant.
His mother was pretty sure they were Justin's, and they were a square nose style cowboy boot, kind of a flat color. Once again, the jeans were, I think, buckle is what the jeans were. We already knew about the Michael Kors billfold. There's specific things that we've been out in front of this entire time looking for in case this did come up. So we're hoping now that maybe that they will come up so we can get more answers.
So his cowboy boots were not on when he was found, and his jeans were not on, and his wallet was missing. Do you know, Chris, if he was wearing a belt?
Exactly, Gobbles.
That I do not know, unfortunately. But in one of the pictures we went back and looked at, I'd always preach to the boys about keeping their billfold in their front pocket. Just to being in clubs, it's real easy to get pickpocketed.
Right.
And the one picture where the boys are all together outside, if you look in the right front pocket, we're pretty sure that's where he had his billfold. So the billfold should have been secured in his pants. Unfortunately, we don't have those answers right now.
Last time we spoke, you mentioned that police had told the family, this was right after his body was discovered, that there were still some people that they wanted to talk to. We know there's a homeless sort of camp in that area. Had they...
Yeah, hold on. Demon Dog says, I piss a lot when drinking beer, but I never take... And that makes sense. I get it. Let me ask you this, though. Just hear me out. What if you're walking and you're drunk? And this is a question that I've never heard anyone else in this community ask. And I mentioned it earlier. If you're walking, you're drunk, you're in some strange city, there's no businesses necessarily right there other than maybe other bars, and you had to, and all of a sudden, you had to take a shit. And you see there's a bank down to the riverbank, what would you do? Now, me as a hiker, I would go shit by the river. And I know this is a weird, gross subject, but I'm asking you guys, seriously, if you're walking down the Nashville streets, there's no gas station with a bathroom, or maybe there is, I don't know, but you don't know, you're drunk and you're fucked up. And then you're like, oh shit, you get the bubblies all of a sudden. You're like, I'm gonna shit that. Exactly. Majority, I know I would, and I think a lot of men would be like, man, there's a good spot down there by the river. Nobody can see me, there's trees. And if you do that, I believe, so you don't accidentally shit on your pants, Because even when I'm hiking, I do the same thing when I shit in the woods. I take my shit, my clothes completely off, my pants, shorts and shit, completely off, shoes off, all that shit. No longer hang with them, they were not my friends. I agree with you, Gobbles. His shirt was on him. You know? I don't know, man. You know, so in my opinion, I think it's very possible. He was walking and he all of a sudden he had the bubble guts and said, I gotta get down here and take a shit. And then while he was down there, you know, maybe he fell in. Maybe he fell in, was drunk, current got him, and he started kicking off the boots and pants to try to be able to swim against the current. I don't know.
You've been able to talk to those people? Have you learned any more on that front?
See, it seems logical.
We have not been notified. Actually, one of the people of interest, a little bit after an hour Riley was found, I was back at that scene and just happened to see that person. And so we had a group of volunteers that kind of followed the gentleman. We called the police, let them know that we had found him because we hadn't been notified they had talked to yet, and was told by the police.
Exactly,
that,
Gobbles, I agree.
No longer a person of interest. They had somebody else they were interested in. But we know from the homeless people that lived there, that was the person that was supposedly up on the road when Riley fell into the bushes or whatever happened, you know, and he yelled back down that, you know, this was just somebody that had been drinking. It was okay. So once again, a little more confusion. I hope that the ball hasn't been dropped on this. There's numerous people in the videos.
What jeans start at $200 a pair? $250 a pair. Does anybody know what jeans he had? I've done a lot weirder shit than that when I was fucked up. 100%, duper. 100%. I've done way weirder shit. Man, I pissed on them. I remember one time when I was young and I lived with my grandparents. I remember I pissed on my grandfather's, you know, chair in the living room, right? Because I thought I was in the bathroom. Grandma walked in, I'm just sitting there pissing on my grandfather's chair. They were like, what the fuck? I've done some silly shit. How does anybody know what jeans he had on? I've never seen any of that in any of this. Maybe I'm wrong. If that really was his credit card, where's his ID? In theory, shouldn't it be found too? Yeah. He had on buckle jeans. They're a lifetime tailor replacement. See, I don't know where everybody, I don't understand where everybody's getting all this other information. I had a pair of Miss Me jeans that were $200. I ain't never paying $200 for no goddamn pants. You know what I'm saying? Ever, other than a suit, other than like dress pants, like suit. Many times I've been drunk. Went to take a piss, someone staggering, your pants fall to your knees. 100%. And then, you know what? And then you trip and fall into the goddamn river and it takes you down and you drown to death. The fam friend said buckle, jeans, Coors wallet. How the fuck would he know though?
Was at the detention center that coincided
I mean, it's
with the
possible.
police officer's body cam and a time stamped where they show up on footage still walking north. I strongly believe, and it may just be a love family one knowing that wanting some
Good
more
old
answers,
Wrangler, yeah.
I think there's somebody out there that knows.
Man, I just get Dickies, man. The only pants I typically buy are like Dickies. Just to be honest, $20 every single time, $20. And sweatpants, $20. Dickies sweatpants. That's just me though. I stopped trying to be stylish a long time ago. I stopped being trying to be stylish when I realized I could still get pussy in a t-shirt and a beanie. The moment I realized I could still get pussy in this outfit right here, I said, man, I ain't buying no more goddamn $400, $200, $100 shirts. I ain't doing none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? The minute you realize you don't need all that to get some pussy, there's no reason in the world to do it. I stopped buying rims for cars when I realized I can get pussy without it. I stopped buying systems for cars when I realized I can get pussy without it. Sorry. It's all right. His height, he needed a tailor almost 6'7". Yeah.
Knows what actually happened that night, and we would love for him to come forward, you know, and we need some more info.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to...
Yeah, that picture I just saw just looked like a regular dude with regular clothes on, man. Maybe you guys see something else when you see those clothes. But I'm just, like, when I see it, I just see a regular dude in regular clothes. So, like, there was some homeless dude down by the river. I'm sure he thinks the same way. The kid was blacked out, went to the river to do whatever, and if he took his pants off, boots fell, and maybe some homeless person found the pants, boots. It is possible. Who knows? But to me, it sounds 100% like a mistake. Just a drunken fuck up. And it cost him his life, and that's unfortunate. 100% unfortunate. So, you know, when it comes to the drowning, the dry drowning, it is possible. And everybody's got their theories on all this. You know, whether it's Abrams, whether it's dickhead Chris Cuomo. And they all keep saying the same thing. No water found in the lungs. And that's fine. But ultimately, in my opinion, when we're talking about this, there's such thing as dry drowning. Why does there have to be some phantom person under the bridge? Exactly, memory. Thank you. When he wasn't even able to stay on his feet and running into poles long before the bridge. Thank you. That's Occam's razor. Logic. That's what that is. We all saw him bumping into fucking poles like a tard. And listen, I've been drunk. I get drunk a lot, bump into poles like a tard. Let's just call it what it is. When you're drunk, you're basically retarded. I know, because I get retarded every day. It's just the way it works. It's just the way it works. Clearly, we saw he had too much to drink. And let me tell you something. There's nothing crazier. And so, hear me out. Guys, if you're drunk, walking home from a bar, what is your number one, like really drunk, what is your number one fear? Tell me the truth. I'm retarded right now. I'm about to be Ozzy. Well, I got a lot of streaming to do, but I'm about to be. Let me ask a serious question. If you're at the bar, you get kicked out. And here you are in a new city, stumbling downtown, walking. What is the number one thing you're afraid of? And this is going to lead to my point with them. One of the number one things I tell lifeguards is the water remove your pants and you can use it for a life preserver, yeah? Now, if I was out in public, stumbling down the street, drunk, particularly in a new town, particularly in, man, drunk people don't always think like it. He said Tyrone. No. Police. Nobody wants to catch a public and people. That's true. Nobody wants to catch a public intoxication charge. So, is it that hard to believe that he saw a riverbank and said, you know what, I might be safer down here walking by the river so I don't get arrested? Because remember, right before this, a cop had talked to him, a cop had stopped him, a cop had addressed him. So is it possible that after that cop addressed him, he said, oh, fuck this, I don't want, do you see what I'm saying? Is it possible that that cop that talked to him may have talked to him about public intoxication, anything like that? Is it possible that he said, fuck this, I don't want to deal with these Nashville police, I don't want to get a public intoxication, I'm less likely to get caught walking as drunk as I am down here by the fucking river? I know that's what I would have done. That's 100% what I would have done. I would have walked by the river rather than a place where I can go to jail. I'm a block and a half from the bar and I would not have made it home without my husband there. Exactly. Another creator said his friends had his last location at the sheriff's office, which was personnel only, and he's last seen on cops' body cam not far from that office. He did seem to sober up. Yeah, it's possible he got stopped, and then he kept walking. He sees the sheriff's office, and he says, fuck this. I'm going down by the river. And I think that's the likely scenario. I know I would have said, why nobody drunk wants to be around cops when they're drunk doing something illegal like public intoxication. Why is the cop on a run about a window being smashed out of a car? You see one guy coming down the street, intoxicated. The cop doesn't stop him and say anything. That just seems crazy to me. That is true, John. I mean, maybe he just didn't do his job properly. Was he using his navigator on his phone to find his way somewhere? No, I do think so, Memory. Here's the truth about that. And I can't remember who I saw covering this. It may have been Horsch. The hotel that he was going to had a name, but there was another. What was the fucking name? God damn it! Excuse me. Let me find this. Google. What's his name? Riley. Strain. That's right. Hotel. Let's look at this. His hotel that he was going to. Hold on, let me see here. I'm trying to find out where it was he was going to. I'm trying to remember. But the hotel that he was going to had a name that was similar to something else that was also there. So I think when he Googled the name of the hotel, it sent him to the other location because he walked the opposite direction of the hotel. Riley Strain Hotel. I don't know why. Nashville. I'm jogging towards River. Got in his hotel. The Tempo. That's right. It was called the Tempo. That's right. The Tempo, if you look in that exact area, the Tempo, TNT believes that. Who's that? Truth and Transparency, is that what that is? But ultimately, the Tempo Hotel, there was also another thing that was like a I don't want to say a junkyard or something, but it had Tempo in the name. It had Tempo in the name, and so this other thing was in the opposite direction of the Tempo Hotel. So it's very, very likely that he just put in the Tempo, and it being drunk, and directions he had led him the opposite way. Does that make sense? There you go, Ginger. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm just saying that's, in terms of direction. He said, man, I've seen a cop and got suddenly sober. Exactly. So I do think that his navigation could have just been sent. What comes up if we put Tempo in maps? Let's go. Let's check it out. I'm gonna do it right now. All right. I'm just gonna put Tempo Nashville. Tempo. Now remember, he was there, so it would have gave him the locations closest to him, right? Tempo Nashville. Let's see here. It comes up Tempo by Hilton, but there's also another thing here that's a food place. It says Bluestone Lane Tempo Hotel. I don't think that's the same one though. Hold on, let me see something here. No, it's a cafe. Bluestone Lane Tempo Hotel. I don't think this is the same location as the Tempo. So when I put it in mine, look, if you look right there, you will see Bluestone Lane Tempo Hotel. You see the Bluestone Lane Tempo Hotel. Oh, let me pull this back up. Tempo. But I'm going to be honest, the first thing that pulls up is, hold on, there's also Your Tempo. Hold on. Your Tempo, look right here. This is what pulls up. Tempo Nashville, but look right here. This says your tempo. Your tempo, which is the one that was right there on the other side. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at where it is compared to the river. Look at your tempo. He was walking down that river to get to your tempo. I can almost guarantee it. I can almost guarantee it. He typed in the wrong tempo, drunk, and he fucked himself up. Your tempo was just the other way, right there down the river. So I think that's what he did. I think that's what he did. Drunk as shit. That's just my personal opinion, so. Yeah, what about? What's the Luke's 32 bridge? What's 301 Nashville? What is that? Tecmo Logistics. I agree with you on 99% of the situation. I appreciate your unfiltered runner, but I'm going to have to disagree about this case in some aspects. He was under a log. I don't think his clothes came. Okay, so what is your theory, Nicole? Oh, and he was rolled under a log by the water. So what was your theory then? There was no blunt force trauma. With all due respect, what's your theory? If you don't believe, like, that you believe something else happened to him just because his body was under a log? And you don't think his clothes could have came off in the water? Just like I said, my clothes came off in the pool out there. There's no waves at all. There's no current. At all. No current at all. I'm back, so I don't know if anyone brought this up, but those cops who invented the smiley face killers must be going crazy. Yeah. I guess that's the question. As you don't think it's possible that, what's up, Gigi? How you doing, beautiful? You don't think it's possible that his body had went under the water, floated back up, and there was under, that the current took him under and then brought him up underneath a log? You don't think that was possible? I think that you're right. He definitely went down by the river to escape the cops, but I do think someone or multiple people robbed him and beat him. Then wouldn't there be, okay, wouldn't there be blunt force trauma? Do you see what I'm saying? For your theory to be correct, and remember, there's been 2 autopsies done. 2 autopsies done. Neither one said that foul play looked doable or that there was blunt force trauma. You know what I mean? If there is no evidence of trauma, then that is ruled out. Agreed, Carmichael. I guess that's where I stand. It probably got stuck under the law from current after it washed up. 100% agreed. Yeah, who in the right mind would kill someone and wear their clothes? Well, I think the homeless population saw an opportunity and took it. Not necessarily. His mom said she was worried concerning the autopsy. I agree, Gigi. I agree completely. 100%. I just personally, I'm not, there's got to be, for them to have beat him and robbed him, there had to be some sort of trauma. You know what I mean? Robbed him of what? Okay, so are you saying that they strangled? I guess my question is what would be your theory then? How did they kill him? He was in his shirt. All the rumors that the homeless people had his shirt was inaccurate. It was wrong. It was inaccurate. What's up, Roger? If there was a log, that log didn't do any damage. True. True. And I'm not, look, I disagree with you heavily. I'm giving you a chance to give your theory. The beautiful Gobbles sent 25. She said, good show today. Glad I could catch you before I leave for work. Have a great day at work, Gobbles. Thank you so much. The boy was drunk, heavily intoxicated from a small town in a big city, having a good time, went down, take a piss, throw up, trip, fell in the river, unexplained, ripped his boots and the pants off, undertow. I agree with John. John, you're 100. In my opinion, you're 100% right. The belt kind of sus, but Panson can be explained by current. His body would show trauma. Yeah, I think it would show trauma. Unless there's another method that they killed him, which, you know, if it was multiple people, they could have held him down and strangled him. But wouldn't his neck would show? No, his neck. No water in his lungs, which could have happened. It is dry drowning. It is possibly dry drowning. We're going to get to the serial puncher here in just a second, for sure. So ultimately, my take on this is drugs, specifically fentanyl. I guess, and like I said, no insult. I definitely appreciate everybody's got different opinions. However, is there ever an incident? Is there ever an incident where people don't think there's like some malicious conspiracy or malicious people? Do you see what I'm saying? Is there ever a story where people are like, yeah, I'll take that story as is? You know what I mean? Yeah, I believe it was a pure accident as well. I do. I believe it was a pure accident. JB, wasn't he found under the barge, not alive? I don't know that portion. Yeah, more often than not, shit happens. That's why Occam's razor comes. You know, I use that word phrase a lot because ultimately, the most logical, the most simple answer is typically the answer. It's clearly possible that a homeless man took his boots and jeans after he was dead. That is 100% true, Salty. I agree. Exactly, Gigi. No, 100%. Or those items could still be floating down the river. He might have kicked them off so he could swim, and he couldn't swim. They had to move the log on top of him to see what it was, that it was a body. Yeah. Yeah, because maybe he was under the water and floated up underneath the log. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, to me, I think that's very, very possible. I understand what you're saying. I got to go with the evidence, and not everything is conspiracy. I agree. Accident, most likely, concur. I agree. I 100% agree. At least she's not saying Batista came under the tunnels and did it. You know what I'm saying? At least that's the case. At least that's the situation.
Yo, thanks for watching this clip from Coffee and Crime. Hope you guys enjoyed it. With all that being said, if you guys like what you see here and you find my content valuable, feel free to hit the links down below. Support the channel. Join the Gun Squad today. Hit the thumbs up. Let me know what you think about the video. I'll see you in the next clip. Peace out.